The SEC scores a big win. Stellar inks a new partnership. XRP price action at the end.
Due to the graphic nature of this program, listener discretion is advised.
And no fancy lighting or background in this video. We're going raw on this Friday night. Heat map? Not yet. We'll get into it soon. But first, your comments. Kevin DeVries says, Gare Bear sounds too affectionate. How about Gary Fairy instead? Well, I'm gonna take that. How about Gary the Fairy with his cute little pink shoes? I didn't know he was a redhead though. Thought he was bald. It kind of ruins the whole redhead gig for me. All right, don't freak out on the old heat map. This is to show you what the action looks like for the last week. Just wanted a visual representation. So for those of you that are getting ready to enjoy your weekend, you don't have to use as much brain power. You could just look at the deeper colors and go, yo, the deeper colors mean people made more money this last week. If you were in the red, you did not make money. Want me to go over the numbers, or you want me to go on to the SEC wins? Because somehow, sooner or later, we're going to have to swallow that pill. The SEC did score a win. It's kind of weird. They won and they lost. I'm going to share it with you. Heat map? Okay, you voted no. Let's go into the SEC. You're naughty. You want to talk about Stellar partnership? Yes. XLM price action? Yes. XRP price action? Yes. We're going to get there. Judge dismisses the consensus lawsuit after the SEC withdraws their Ethereum probe. However, a Texas judge ruled that the lawsuit lacked merit due to the SEC's decision to abandon its Ethereum probe. In the decision, Judge Reed O'Connor of the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of Texas explained, because withholding consideration subjects plaintiff to scant, if any hardship, if the claim lacks a ripe case or controversy. Essentially, the court that found with an investigation consensus had no grounds to prove the lawsuit. It's kind of hard to say you're like going after someone or doing something wrong if like, you know, like kind of like stop like investigating them and you're like, okay, this is over. I mean, like then the lawsuit going after you for kind of being that way is over too. So I don't know. It's kind of like a win, kind of loss sort of thing. Consensus celebrated the development with a post on X. In a significant win for the industry, the SEC dropped its Ethereum 2.0 investigation after our litigation was filed, and the Texas court today recognized that the SEC already gave Consensus the relief it sought on that critical issue for the Ethereum ecosystem. So just worthwhile showing it out there that, you know, a little win, a little loss. It's just how it works in this, right? You win some battles. Stellar partnership. Only Dust. Super thrilled to announce that we are starting a partnership with the Stellar Development Foundation. We will start by onboarding 15 Stellar projects to the Only Dust. Together, we aim to bring more developers into the ecosystem, retain top talent, and give visibility. Price action regarding this? No. Good for the devs? Yeah. Good for the ecosystem? Yeah. Any devs out there driving Lambos, Porsche GT3 RSs? Just asking. Just asking. XLM price action, I mean, until the chart turns around, gonna have to swallow something a little different. Now, I wanted to bring this up, okay, because this is all about different perspectives. This is all about what it looks like in the last week. This is what it looks like in the last about 5-ish years. Now, what's interesting about this chart is look at the volume. Juicy volume from late 2020 through to pretty much June 2022. After that, you see like no blippage on the bottom of the screen. You see a little right here. You see this little blip right here. That was the Judge Torres action in 2023. And then a little blip right here like when we had a little bit of a banking problem. So other than that, I mean, do you see it moving? Do you see the volume, the interest in the market? If you're sitting here and you're listening to someone and someone's like, yo, this XLM chart looks good, make sure they're looking at the right XLM, because none of the news that Stellar has been doing has really been bringing any volume to it. Meridian's coming up soon, right? Again, great for devs, great for ecosystem, but if you're an XLM holder, what are you getting? No pumps in volume during that, and that's kind of the big thing is volume is really indicative of interest, of people like in the want of it. You know, like when exchanges are launching these products, they launch products that have a lot of volume because they make money on that volume. They make tons of money on the volume. So if there's no volume, they're like, oh, so there's not a lot of people playing with this? That'd be akin to like no one buying this certain product on the shelf. Do you want to give it more shelf space or less? You give it less, right? Because it's not a product that sells. And so when you look at the volume for sale, you're like, gosh, the volume, the interest is just roasted. In some of the heydays, just to give you an idea, 2.1 billion on that particular week, 2.1, 4.6 billion, 5.7 billion. This is weekly totals. We look at it now. 500 million, 500 million, 450 million, 350 million, 460 million. So, I mean, volume has dropped off like, insane percentages. Like, insane percentages. I mean, half a billion in volume compared to like billions and billions and billions. So, I mean, that is a huge, so it's not just the price, the volume has fell off as well. Now, what's really interesting is like, watch this. The XRP chart, you see more blippage here on the bottom of the screen. Yes, blippage, a technical term. When you see a little bit more of something on the bottom of a chart, right? Now, it didn't have the spikes so much, right? But check this out. Still looks fairly similar. But look at the bottom. A lot more interest in volume, okay? Is it as big as the juicy days of 2020 and 2021? No, it's not. We have to be realistic. It's not. It's way less. So again, look at the volume. But you're seeing bigger blips down there on the bottom of the screen that actually register to something. When you look at XLMs, you're like, oh, man. You also see more price action, right? Bigger hits on the action. And look what happens. Again, this is a 5 year. So when I switch them out, you can see bigger moves here. You could also see the floor for XRP starting to build up, where XLM is, look at that, like dead sideways, if not going down just a little bit here. So very different on the 5 year. Even though people are like, oh, they look so similar, there is still a very different play here with a lot more short-term volume, a lot more juicy action with the XP on that short-term volume. A lot of people have moved away from XLM, and with crypto, it's all about being popular, right? Because when you're popular, exchanges want you, exchanges want to list it, and people want to play with it, and they want to use it. But if you're sitting here and your volume is like down 90-something% and you're not a big player in the market, you're not going to be put on the shelves anymore. XRP's got to wait for the SEC. And we've seen now that the SEC backed out of the ETH thing. So obviously consensus thing of the SEC is going to be thrown out. So like we're starting to unravel this ball, but man, October 7th can't come fast enough. Because what, everyone? Because Gary the Fairy. That's the expiration date for the appeal decision. I am not gonna lie, but I am friggin' beat. Besides doing the videos 7 days a week, I've got just under 12 hours of training in my belt for the last 6 days. And tomorrow is long run day, baby. 3.5 hour run tomorrow. Then another hour and a half on Sunday. I got to cover 30 miles this weekend. I just ran super hard today, like hardcore VO2 max, like really like pounding it. So, and I did cardio, and I got one more session tonight. Either way, that's what the market's looking at. I don't know. I don't want to beat a dead horse to death right now, but it's obvious. The SEC is the rain cloud for XRP. XLM Stellar is its own rain cloud. Great for the devs, but is it really great for the devs? Because if devs don't have Lambo, you know, it's cool if you have like Klaus mit Lambo, Klaus mit Porsche. But, you know, if you don't have that, then is that really juicy? And that's what I've been sharing with everyone in terms of the news when it comes to Stellar. It's not me ripping on them. It's just reflecting to you like a mirror that, hey, volume is down tons. Open interest is down tons. What do you build and base your life on? I mean, the price action or the partnership? Yeah. On that note, I'm going to go do a quick stretching, and then I'm going to do one more session tonight. As always, choo-choo, bitches.